how did it come to this? I thought making this Origin 100i review would be easy. I mean, I've been a Star Citizen pilot since 2014 and this happens? Where did it all go wrong? But before we get to that, let me tell you whether it's a good ship, if you should buy it, or if there are better starter packages out there. Though to do that, I have to go and get the best loadout for the 100i and test it in combat before we can analyze it and start looking at good alternatives to consider. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. It's an exciting day. The day I get to jump back into this great little touring starter ship from Origin, Jumpworks. Luxury and performance. These two words are music to my ears, and the patented air fuel system makes it one of the most eco-friendly and efficient ships in all of Star Citizen. If you're looking for a great starter ship to do some exploration in style, the 100i won't disappoint, though it's not all sunshine and roses, but we'll get to that in a bit. First, we need to grab some upgrades and make the most of our adventure. So let's head to my personal hoarding space, Orison, and see what we've got. Heading down to the hangar as we're about to start our journey into the unknown, let's have a closer look at the exterior and interior. Right, so as we run onto the ship, as you can see, it's got the little Origin design, smooth and sleek. I've said it before, this thing just reminds me of a Lamborghini. So let's head inside. Nice stairwell animation. You can open a little cubby door where your cargo will get stored and your components there at the top. And to the right there you have your little bed where you can log out of, and here is your pilot seat. It's a great looking ship for sure. And we're off. We've made the short trip to Orison to pimp our ride.
If I can just find a parking spot! We should slow down just a teensy-weensy bit! Nonsense, poopy pants!
Right, let's store our ship and see which upgrades to get for our Origin 100i. Right, so here on the liveries tab, I'm gonna choose the Deck the Hull livery that we got during the Liminalia festival at the end of 2023. And on the systems tab, let's see, I'm gonna pick two Grade A Glaciers for the power plant, the JS300. And then the Quantum Drive, you can either choose the Atlas or the VK00. Since I'm not planning on going too far, I'll choose the VK00. And for the shields, I will pick the FR66. On the weapons, I'll just keep the Strike Force missiles. I like those a lot these days. I can also pick the Rattlers, they're good. And then I'll swap the gimbals out for fixed weapons, which is always a great idea. So here I will pick, I think I'll go for the FL33s. I just like those. Of course you can also go with the NDB repeaters, those are great. But for now, let's stick with the FL33s, try those out. And that's it. Just going back to the Quantum Drive, ideally you'd want to get an Atlas because the range on the 100i isn't great. So yeah, you can grab all these components from your trusty neighborhood vendor, Cousin Crows. Apart from the Atlas, which you can get at L5, this entire setup will set you back 133,000 Alpha UEC, which really isn't much at all. Now before we go out exploring, let's go pick a fight. Since the 100i is not really a combat ship, let's dial things down and go for an HRT bounty. The excellent speed and maneuverability gives us a great advantage, but having only 2 missiles and 2 size 3 fixed weapons means we're not too potent. But hey, we're definitely good looking, so that must count for something, right? Okay, so that wasn't the smartest flying I've ever done. and you should be able to do HRTs no problem as long as you focus on one target at a time. Unlike me, who was shooting everything I see while trying to get some good footage for you guys. Now that we know that it's definitely not a fighter, do I think the Origin 100i is a good ship and should you buy it? Well, let's look at some alternative starter packages to consider if you're new to Star Citizen before I give you my verdict. If you like the look and feel of the 100i, aren't interested in combat and can afford $10 more, definitely consider the Origin 300i. It's a bit bigger, more luxurious and a bit sturdier, and will give you better Indiana Jones experiences. But one that's cheaper than the 100i and much better at combat is the Aurora LN for $45. Though not as fast and maneuverable, it's definitely a great little starter, and doing VHRTs in this one is not a problem. You can even go cheaper at $40 for a Mustang Beta, or higher to $60 and get an Avenger Titan. Although I'd say the 300i is probably the best alternative to consider in terms of playstyle, looks and feel if you like what the 100i has to offer. Do I think the 100i is a good ship? No, I don't. Even though I love flying it from time to time, I'd definitely save an extra tenner and grab the 300i, which is to this day one of my favorite ships in the game. Tell me which ship review you would like to see next. Let me know in the comments, and until next time, cheers!